umutekano w'imibereho, iterambere ry'umuturage. Radio Imanzi 105.1 FM. Twese hamwe birashoboka.
We got you updated. This is Radio Imanzi, news in English.
Good evening, dear listener. Thank you for tuning in. This is Radio Imanzi 105.1 FM, broadcasting from Kigali. Here are the news in English, brought to you by Alvin Umngari. The headlines. The government of Rwanda is planning to connect at least 60% of primary schools to the internet by 2024. Rwanda National Police RNP has revealed that 26 drivers were arrested on the night of Christmas over drunk driving. Kenyan President William Ruto has appealed to his South Sudanese counterpart Salva Kiir Mayardit to de-escalate the conflict in Upper Nile. We'll be back with the news in detail. Thank you. Welcome back. The government of Rwanda is planning to connect at least 60% of primary schools to the internet by 2024. According to Dian Sengati, the Director of Digital Content and Instructional Technology at Rwanda Basic Education Board REB, only 20% and 57% of primary school and in secondary school, respectively, are connected despite internet penetration, which is at 66% in the country. We're connecting schools in collaboration with partners where there is no electricity and internet penetration. The schools are yet to be connected. We have a target to connect 60% by 2024. She said as schools get ICT tools such as one laptop per child and per teacher, besides electricity, internet connectivity is also availed. 57% of teachers have laptops across the country. There is still a challenge of the high cost of internet per month for schools. According to Emmanuel Mfitumukiza, the chairperson of the Internet Society Rwanda chapter, most of the rural schools are not yet connected. Partners can also play a role in connecting such schools to contribute to government efforts. We have connected 4 primary schools in the Bugesera district, and the schools can also serve the community by increasing digital literacy. He said internet connectivity in primary and secondary schools will help in the implementation of a competence-based curriculum. By implementing this curriculum, teachers and students should have access to ICT schools. Rwanda's tennis prodigy Amy Mugisha will fly to the United States Friday, December 30th, to start his tennis scholarship at Bethel University, a private Christian university and seminary in Arden Hills, Minnesota. Mugisha, aged 21, went for a professional training course at Extreme Tennis Academy in Egypt, February, where he met one of the coaches who were scouting young talents for Bethel University. The coach was impressed by the youngsters' tennis skills and offered him to play for the university while also playing them. Mugisha said, "That's where I met Bethel scouts. They gave me this offer, which I took as a lifetime opportunity, and then we finally agreed on all details." Prior to his departure, Mugisha said he's looking forward to a new challenge at Bethel University as he hopes to adapt so fast. He added that I'm ready for the challenge. I deserve to be there. I will try my best to help them win titles. This is a golden opportunity for not only me, but the country in general. I hope to grow as a player and academically because Bethel is a good standard university. Mujisha started his tennis career in 2011 at the age of 9. Football was his first choice, but he eventually quit after picking up serious injury. After years of hard work in the junior and youth ranks, Mujisha earned a scholarship at IPRC Kigali Tennis Academy in 2018 and kept impressing. As a result, he landed the opportunity to be part of the Extreme Tennis Academy in Egypt. Mujisha is so far the highest ranked random tennis player on the International Tennis Federation rankings, where he's ranked 1,585 in the world. With the opportunity, he wants to improve his game level until he comes among the world's top 500 tennis players. Rwanda National Police has revealed that 26 drivers were arrested on the night of Christmas over drunk driving, in addition to more than 20 arrested in the previous night. Despite the cases of drunk driving, RNP spokesperson CP Jean Bosco Kabeda has told Igihe that security remains intact across the country and thanked Rwandans for having exhibited good behaviors during Christmas celebrations. He explained that the majority of accidents in the night of Christmas involved motorcyclists who were two were registered in Eastern Province, while 2 others in Northern Province. They involved a motorcyclist who knocked a cyclist and another who hit a pedestrian crossing a road. He said, "We advise all Rwandans and Rwandan residents to shun all behaviors that would destabilize their own and other security. They should provide information on time and collaborate with police for intervention." CP Kabeda also cautioned all road users, including pedestrians and drivers, against recklessness to curb possible accidents. As for tea exports, Rwanda earned 1,278,369 United States dollars from 443 megatons between 17th and 23rd of December. The main countries of destination were Pakistan, Egypt, and the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, horticulture exports, fruits, vegetables, and flowers for last week amounted to 431 megatons that generated 848,042 cents United States dollars. Main countries of destination include Dubai, DRC, the Netherlands, and the UK. Overall figures from NAIEB show that this country earned 292,371 US dollars from animal products and 1,458,189 US dollars from cereals, grains, and flour. Throughout the week, Rwanda also exported 829 megatons of coffee that generated 4,598,922 US dollars, while roots and tubers generated 149,462 US dollars. The average price of coffee was set at 5.6 USD per kilogram, and last week's main destination for coffee were the UK, the United States, and Switzerland. We'll be back shortly with international news.
Some items of international news on Radio Imanzi.
Kenyan President William Ruto has appealed to his South Sudanese counterpart Salva Kiir Mayardit to de-escalate the conflict in Upper Nile and Jonglei states and deploy humanitarian efforts. President Ruto said the escalation of hostilities might ruin the 2018 peace agreement, and in a statement he gave on Saturday, the increasing security, violence, displacement and unfolding humanitarian crisis is detrimental to the peace and stability of South Sudan and the East African region as a whole. Deadly fighting between rival factions in Upper Nile and parts of Jonglei states have been ongoing since mid-August this year, leading to massive displacement of civilians. Women and children bear greatest brunt, Dr. Ruto said, noting that they are in desperate need of food, water, shelter and medical supplies. The president stressed that the widening political division is impairing any hopes for resumption in the implementation of the revitalized peace deal. 8 Congolese soldiers and a civilian were sentenced to death on appeal by a military court in Ituri province in the northeast of Democratic Republic of Congo. Judicial sources said on Tuesday 2 of the 8 were high-ranking colonels. The prosecution successfully argued that the 2 colonels had organized and planned an attack on a convoy carrying Chinese workers in Irumu territory, Ituri, with the aim of stealing 4 gold bars and 5,600 euros carried by the victims. The convoy, which was returning from gold mining site, was attacked at Nderemi village on March 17, 2022, and 2 Chinese nationals were killed and their civilian driver was injured. Like the others, Colonel Mukalenga Tsendeko and Kayumba Sumahili were found guilty of murder and criminal association, according to the ruling handed down in Bunia, the capital of Ituri province. The death penalty is regularly pronounced in the DRC, but is systematically commuted to life imprisonment. 3 other soldiers, 2 of whom were sentenced in the first instance to 10 years in prison, were acquitted for lack of evidence. In a separate ruling, the DRC's highest military court sentenced Lieutenant Colonel Marcel Kaligamire and 2 Congolese soldiers to capital punishment for misappropriating wartime munitions intended for military operations. 4 other soldiers and 3 civilians prosecuted in this case and sentenced to death in the first instance had their sentence reduced to 10 years in prison. 2 civilians were sentenced to 5 years in prison. According to the prosecution, the diverted ammunition was sold to the armed group, the Cooperative for the Development of Congo, CODECO. Since the emergence of the militia in 2017, the gold-rich Ituri region has returned to violence after a decade of calm. It's accused of killing scores of civilians in recent years. 3 people were killed on Monday in a helicopter crash at an army base near Niger's capital, Niamey. A Niger Army Force says Mi-17 helicopter, returning from a routine training flight, crashed while landing on the military airstrip from Niamey Airport. The Nigerian Ministry of Defense said Nigerian Ministry of Defense said in a statement, unfortunately, the 3 crew members, an officer of non-commissioned officer from Niger, and an expatriate instructor, died on the spot despite the efforts of the emergency services to contain the fire. A commission of inquiry was immediately set up to determine the causes of this tragic accident. Continues the text. Niger, a very poor Sahelian country, is trying to beef up its army, which has been fighting jihadist violence since 2015 on the immense territory, much of it desert. Several parts are affected. The west, close to Mali and Burkina Faso, where Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State group are present, and the southeast bordering Lake Chad in Nigeria, which has become a hideout for jihadists. The border area between northern Benin and southern Niger, so far spared, has in turn been confronted for several months with the jihadist threat, according to the authorities. Also on Monday, the Minister of Defense announced that 25 terrorists were killed last week after an airstrike in the region of Tillaberi in western Niger. In its fight against armed Islamists, Niger benefits from logistical and training support from France, the United States, Italy, Germany, and Belgium. France and the United States both have military bases in Niger, and Germany has a logistics base. And that brings us to the end of today's program. Let us look at the headlines once more. The government of Rwanda is planning to connect at least 60% of primary schools to the internet by 2024. Rwanda National Police has revealed that 26 drivers were arrested on the night of Christmas over drunk driving. Kenyan President William Ruto has appealed to his South Sudanese counterpart Salva Kiir Mayardit to de-escalate the conflict in Upper Nile. And thank you for tuning. Thank you for staying with me. This was Alvin Ungari on Radio Imanzi. Stay safe and have a wonderful night. Happy holidays.